right. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and coming to our Her Story Award. We are all very, very excited to be here and to introduce all the awardees today. Um, just wanted to see if, okay, Kayleigh's here. Okay, great. Um, But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. I'm going to pass it off to Kayleigh. She's going to do an intro on what the W, what the GWPN and the Her Story Award is.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. My name is Kayleigh Moffitt. I'm the president of Women's Federation for World Peace in the United States. And this program in particular is one of my favorites. I look forward to. We've been doing them every month because there's something so significant about honoring the women who are doing the work in our communities. And we know that all of you do this work not for the recognition, but we know that it means a lot and that we need to uplift the women in our communities who are making a difference. So at Women's Federation for World Peace, we really believe in uplifting the unique value that women bring to communities at this time, not to put down the wonderful things that our counterparts and men bring to our communities, but we want to make more space to uplift the women who are really investing their hearts and their souls and their times, often quietly, often not always being recognized. Our organization was founded 31 years ago by Father and Mother Moon. And Mother Moon is really a model for me in my life. I have here from her, this is her memoir, Mother of Peace. And she talks all about the unique value that women bring to our society and actually how desperately we need to be able to represent this feminine perspective that is just as needed, just as valuable, and just as strong as the masculine perspective. And there's one quote that I always like to read at our Her Story Awards because I think it represents so perfectly the power of women. She says that the world of the future can be a world of reconciliation and peace, but only if it is based on the maternal love and affection of women. This is the true power of womanhood. The time has come for the power of true womanhood to save the world. And I don't know what message could be more fitting in the world and the climate that we're living right now with so much war and suffering and difficulty going on all around us. And I really believe that if we can bring forward this maternal perspective, this womanly perspective into this conversation, so much of the problems in our world could be resolved. So I know today we're honoring those kinds of women who are bringing so much forward, and it's just our great pleasure and honor to be able to recognize them today. And for those of you who are with us, we're looking forward to a great program. Everybody who's watching on YouTube and social media, it's going to be wonderful. I will pass it back to you, Matoba, and looking forward to giving out the awards later today.
Thank you, Kayleigh. And apologies, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Matoba Nelson. I volunteer with Women's Federation as their UN representative. And I've been doing it for a few months now. And it's been very great so far. We had an event earlier today that I unfortunately wasn't able to attend, but I know that there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes. So going into our first awardee, Deborah is an award-winning speaker, best-selling author, sought-after seminar leader, talk show host, and an in-demand media guest. Her clients have included corporate executives, popular celebrities, New York State Times best-selling authors, and even household names. As a speaker, Deborah delivers high-energy, content-rich, deeply impactful presentations that stay with an audience members long after she leaves the stage. Although she thought she was going into a financial tutorial to help her career, The seminar leader shared Radical's idea about how prosperity is really created, ideas that had nothing to do with investing wisely, but rather using energetic tools and the power of the mind to create your ideal life. And so with that, I introduce Deborah.
Thank you so much, Matoba, and also Kayla. It's so wonderful to be here. I was going to spotlight myself, but I guess there we go. There I am. Anyway, it is truly an honor to be given this HerStory Award from the Women's Federation for World Peace. And thank you for all of you for all of the wonderful work you do in the world. And my dear friend Elizabeth, thank you so much for nominating me. Well, in my bio, usually I share the fact that for 40 plus years, I've been teaching principles of success around the world, as well as how to remain in radiant good health, whatever your age, through my ageless seminars. I've also been a meditation teacher since the early 1970s. So I'm a little bit busy, but the truth, if the truth be known, what gives me the greatest joy is my nonprofit work. And that's what I'd like to speak about today. I work with 3 nonprofits, one which puts on basketball showcases that provide a way for college coaches to watch the kids on the south and west sides of Chicago hooping, as they say, in hopes of getting a college scholarship. That nonprofit was actually started by my son when he was 15 years old. And over the last decade, the Shot in the Dark Foundation has raised over $70 million in college scholarships and a very different life for hundreds of young men in Chicago. And the second nonprofit, the Community University of South Africa, provides young people in the townships, many who used to be gang members, who want to turn their lives around, but whose education is insufficient to get them into higher education. It provides them the skills they need to not only pass the exams to get that higher education, but also provides life skills so that they have a better life. I teach my Yes to Success classes on Zoom to these young people. And I've only been there once in person. I hope to go soon again. Because they have a very good time laughing at me when I try to pronounce their names. And then in my last nonprofit, which is Aid Still Required, we've been working with the dear, beautiful people in Haiti, building schools and providing medical care in the villages and rescuing orphans from being house servants and so much more. As I said, unfortunately, I haven't been to Haiti since COVID and since the gangs have been controlling Port-au-Prince, but we continue to do our work from afar. And the reason I share this with you is to echo the words of Mahatma Gandhi: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others. And the world needs us to be in service now more than ever. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but also people often say to me, oh, I love that you do your work and you go out and you go to these different countries. But what I do is I pray for people's well-being. And I say, by all means, pray. Pray for guidance, pray for racial and ethnic justice, pray for the end of war, but you do also have to act. And one of my very favorite quotes from the New Testament is, faith without action is worthless. Kind of harsh, like faith without action. Doesn't even say faith without action is kind of good. It says it's worthless. When someone's house is burning down, you could pray for their hearts to be at peace, but when it's burning, you don't just stand there and hold hands and pray. You got to call the fire department. You got to get the people out. You got to save the dog and put blankets around the shoulders of the shivering. You have to take action. But what I really want to share today is, you know, the benefit of taking action. You not only help the people whose house is burning, but when you do that, you feel so good about yourself. It increases your own self-love. That isn't why you do acts of service, but there's nothing that will pull you out of despair and depression and hopelessness, which a lot of people are experiencing right now. There's nothing to pull you out of it like contribution. In fact, when you contribute, it's been scientifically proven that it increases your oxytocin, which is the feel-good hormone. You volunteer, you do a random act of kindness, you bring hot meals to people living in tents in the middle of winter, or even write a check to a charity that's helping refugees. it makes you happier. In fact, there was a study done at the National Institutes of Health that showed that not only did acts of service increase people's oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, but it decreased people's cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So lowering your cortisol, it's not only been linked to reducing symptoms of stress and depression, but better sleep, decreased heart disease, so much more. So here's the thing. I do know how to create wealth and manifest your dream home and your dream car and fame and a nice bank account. I've been teaching people the laws of manifestation in my courses for over 40 years. But for real success, first you need to create success on the inside, to be able to look in the mirror and love the person looking back at you. And I know that's what they teach also at the Women's Federation. Because if you don't have that success on the inside, then the rest will be meaningless. You know, people say to me, oh, you're such a good person, all the work you do around the world. And I say back to them, well, thanks for thinking I'm a great person, but I'm just doing what makes me happy. You know, I could, if I have a choice to go to the Caribbean and go snorkeling or go to the Caribbean and love up my kids in Port-au-Prince, it's very clear to me what I would choose and what I always choose. So I guess my message today is if you're feeling a little bit of despair about what's going on in the world, you don't have to stay in that space. You could remind yourself of the words of St. Thomas Aquinas, who said, while injustice is the worst of sins, despair is the most dangerous. So if you're feeling despair, I promise you, and all of these wonderful women who are involved with the Women's Federation for World Peace will agree, the way to shift your life is through service. Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir. You all know this, but believe it or not, what I've seen over and over and over again is that when service is your primary focus, the outer success will be drawn to you like a magnet. It'll just be drawn to your beautiful, radiant light. So that's my message for today. Thank you again so much for this award and for this opportunity to share with your community tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deborah. You said a lot of really good things. Lose yourself in service, you know, action without, or faith without action is useless. These are the things and principles that we as Women's Fed do keep to ourselves quite dearly. And thank you for again reminding us why service is so important. It helps us to learn how to love ourselves, but also it makes us feel better when we're able to, you know, help improve someone else's lives other than our own. So thank you very much. And next we're going to have the nominator, Miss Elizabeth, to give a personal note.
Good evening, ladies. Thank you for this opportunity that I can share just a little about Debbie. And thank you, the Global Women Peace Network team, for selecting Debbie to be one of the awardees. I appreciate that. Yeah, I came to know Debbie through the online, actually. I attended a seminar. Actually, it was a 5-day seminar. I was invited by a lady in UK, Melissa Peya, who is a hypnotherapist. So I went to attend. The reason also I attended is because on the list of the speakers, there was John Gray. Most of you know, wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. There was Lazy Brown and other, about 5 people. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to attend. And then, but what drew me to Debbie is just a smile. She has that radiant smile. So I was just like hooked, you know, it was like contagious. And then I was thinking, I need to have a health webinar. Who can I choose among all those speakers? We're about like 60 speakers. And who can I choose? But I found myself just drawn to Debbie. You know, it's just that energy about her, you know. which just just it draws you in. So I invited her. She agreed to speak. We had a health webinar in June. And today, actually, we are the part 2 of the health webinar. So I decided to nominate her because of humanitarian work she's doing. But also, not just that, the seminars she does, all her seminars, she impacts people's lives. She has changed people's lives. Some are millionaires, some are this and that. But most importantly is the health. Now she's into health. And so she's helping people to not just, think of others, but also to think of their health. And she's helping people with the different techniques they can use in order to be healthy, to stay young, to live longer, and all that. And so to end, I'm gonna just read what John Gray said. He said, over 30 years ago, I first attended Deborah's Yes to Success seminar. I was completely blown away by a unique vision of how every one of us can live our most cherished dreams, and by her powerful presence and radiant spirit. I ended up attending the seminar so many more times that I lost count. And each time I gained new insights that impacted my life and helped me to formulate the passion test. So, that is one of, a famous person who has attended many, seminars Debbie has given. She impacts people's lives. So through our service, through our seminars. So because of our heart, that kind of heart, that's why, I nominated her. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now to present the HerStory Award, I'm going to invite up Kayleigh Moffitt.
Yeah, thank you. Deborah, your speech is like such a gift to all of us. I feel we are all more empowered and reminded about why we do what we do. And I love what Elizabeth said, that we're recognizing you not just because of what you do, but it's because of your heart and who you are. And we recognize that. And we welcome you into this network of global women peacemakers. And it's my pleasure to give you this award, which we're going to bring up on the screen at any moment. Here we go. So the HerStory Award is proudly presented to Deborah Poneman on this day, October 28th, 2023. Thank you for your heart of service in creating a system that has deeply impacted many to live with deeper inner fulfillment and abundance. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love. So please join me in appreciating Deborah for who she is and the impact that she's making, and welcoming her into our wonderful community of women peacemakers. Congratulations, Deborah. All of our awardees will get this award in the mail with a little special gift. So congratulations. And we look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much. Okay, on to the next awardee. So, Dr. Margot Davidson, a fighter for her community. That's the phrase that is often associated with the name Margot Davidson. All of her life, she has fought to advance the interests of vulnerable communities from her days as a broadcast journalist in her quest to provide true and accurate information to the listeners of Black-owned and operated radio in the city of Philadelphia, or later as the founder of 2 nonprofit organizations. Margot also served her community in elected office for 11 years and completely shifted the political landscape in her suburban count through her own brand of service first, particularly to communities that had been underserved for decades. Margot recently completed an intense training program to be a credentiated coach through an International Coaching Federation, ICF, accredited program, and was named top coach of the cohort. Her focus is executive coaching for leaders of high impact communities based organizations. I'm going to invite up Ms. Dohu for the personal note as she is the nominator.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It was wonderful to be with our key leaders right here. And I know Ms. Matoga tried to shorten the biography, because I know if you're going to listen to her accomplishments, she have a lot of tons of accomplishments that she have done in our district. By the way, my name is Chesley Dahu. I am the chairwoman of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for almost 10 years now. So when Grace asked me, what is your connection or your personal connection to Margot? Why you are nominating her? So I told her that we have a lot of collaboration with each other. We work and support each other, especially here in Delco community, because she is formerly the state representative of 164 district, legislative district of Pennsylvania. So for me, in my own words, if Margot is only a true, I consider that she have bear a lot of fruit. If you're going to list down all the things that she have done in our district, I would rather say that she have done tremendously, and we have learned a lot from her. Especially, she is the voice in our district. She is working and fighting so much for those people who cannot speak for themselves, the minority, those who are marginalized, and especially those who are underserved. So also for me, I have observed that Margot, in her political leadership, she is really favored, loved by everyone in our community. Why would I say that? Because I've served as a minority judge in the election for several years. And every time the election comes, she always make it to the top. Almost 83 to 86% of the election results goes to her. So to make the story short, I would say that the reason why I nominate you, Margot, because you resemble the logic of love principle of the Women's Federation for World Peace. And that is living for the sake of others. When you try to give and serve people into the atmosphere of your heart, you resemble the logic of life and the advocacy of our Mother Moon, who is the founder of WFWP. All I can say is congratulations, keep up your job, and I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. That was so sweet. And now to present the award, again, President Kayleigh Moffitt.
Yeah, thank you. And Gisley, I love that introduction. I hope those who are here for the first time can feel that in our organization, we really make this a close in heart feeling that, yes, we're all doing busy work, but we want to support each other and love each other and uplift each other. So it is our great honor to be able to present this award, and we will bring it up on the screen, and then we'll hear from you afterwards. So this HerStory Award is proudly presented to Dr. Margot Lomax D on this day, October 28th, 2023. Thank you for your endless determination to uplift the vulnerable in your community and those around you through your heartfelt determination in the work that you do. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love. Please join me in congratulating Margot on her receiving of the HerStory Award. Congratulations. And at this time, I would like to welcome you to the screen to share your story with us. Welcome, Margot.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Gisley made me cry. So thank you to the Women's Federation of World Peace, and thank you to you, Gisley, for nominating me. Um, I just posted on Facebook how difficult it is sometimes for me to receive. I'm constantly giving, I'm constantly working, and often I just go from mission to mission and project to project, and without taking a breath, I forget sometimes to stop for a moment and celebrate. And so thank you, Gisley, for tapping me on the shoulder and say, hey, you really did do something miraculous in our community. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate you so much, Gisley. You inspire in ways that I can't even express here today. I grew up poor in West Philadelphia, in the streets of West Philadelphia, the mean streets of West Philadelphia. To a single mother, a teenage mother at the time. And I didn't realize it until recently that the thing that impacted me the most was really my horrific experiences with childhood sexual abuse. I was sexually abused as a child on 3 different occasions by 3 different perpetrators, by a neighbor, a pastor, and a relative. I suppressed most of that. I couldn't really shake the relative because it was the last one, and the relatives were always around. But I suppressed those memories, so I didn't really know what was driving my insatiable passion to address injustice, to be a voice for the voiceless, to impact communities in ways that I felt was not being addressed. And whatever I was doing, that was my mission. Even if when I was a journalist, I wanted to get information to communities that were starved of information, so they couldn't, make quality decisions for their life because they didn't have the information or the resources or the access to resources that they deserve. And so even as a journalist, I thought people needed information and that could improve their quality of life. When the crack cocaine epidemic hit the city of Philadelphia, I recognized that people needed more than information, they needed direct service. Um, my friend and co-founder Deborah is on the call today, and we started anti-drug and alcohol crusaders, and through the children in that community, rescued hundreds of parents from the throes of addiction, with children coming to our doors saying, my mommy is on drugs. I haven't seen her in days. Can you help me find her? And, we went about the work of finding mothers and fathers, particularly mothers, in crack houses or wherever we had to go to rescue these parents so that their children could have a chance at life. I did that work for many years. I did that also for the health department, just gathering up organizations and strengthening organizations that were affecting change. I came to recognize that women that are sexually abused, either as a child or as an adult, are 3 times more likely to use substances. And so that was the first thing I could address because I didn't want to acknowledge the sexual abuse. So I addressed the byproduct of it, which was many times and for many people substance abuse. My next mission became um, economic parity, economic equity in communities, particularly communities of color. I felt that entrepreneurship was the only true path to economic prosperity for communities. And I attributed the lack of education, the lack of healthcare, the lack of social interaction, healthy social interaction with poverty. And so I was going to address poverty head on through the organization that I created, which was the African American Female Entrepreneurs Alliance. I later looked at government, so I was looking at every system and creating change models in every system that I had identified as a problem, which led me to government and politics. Because I saw as nonprofits were trying to support communities and support people, that they often were hit with barriers from government, and policy barriers that kept them from doing all that they could do, and also funding barriers from government. So I ran for political office in a place where there had not been anyone from my party. There had not been anyone that looked like me. There had not been any female to ever hold elected office in that area. But I felt that I could do it. So, never one to run from a fight or a fire. I dove right in headlong. And, I was able to do tremendous work as Gisley's representative and the representative of the 164th district. I literally changed the landscape of politics in Delaware County as the trailblazer, the first, and the first has its penalties. It has its penalties and it has its enemies, and it makes you a target in many instances. But what I also came to recognize is in this crusade to save everyone, who I was losing most was myself. It was me that suffered the most. It was me that never took the time to care about me, to take care of me, to take care of those around me closest. I was always running out the door to put out the latest fire. People knew that they could call Margot Davidson at 3 in the morning, at 4 in the morning, and tell her that their electricity was off. And by morning time, I had the electric company on the phone demanding that they restore service to XYZ constituent. And spoiler alert, while I had the world on my shoulders, I want you to know that the world is too heavy for any of us to carry alone. And so, of course, at some point, if you're constantly trying to save everyone, running into fires, running into places where no one has gone before, you're going to hit a wall. And you're going to hit a wall and you're going to hit it hard. And that's what happened. I was trying to save everyone and forgot to save myself, which led me on the path in the last 2 years of healing and recognizing what drove me to such passion. I was trying to save that little girl that no one had saved. And recognizing that I needed to go back and save her, to save her, to make her whole, to make her healthy, to make her happy. I love what you said, Deborah, about, getting, fitness and all the stuff that's inside of you together. Get that together. And so I went full circle and went back and addressed those childhood traumas that I hadn't addressed, and recognized what things that I saw in other people that I was trying to save, that I was ignoring in myself, which makes us a more effective leader when we recognize those things that are in us that are hurting and we address those things. We're more effective in reaching those folks that God has assigned to us to reach. One of my life scriptures is "Sing, O barren woman," in Isaiah 54. And it talks about a woman that was forsaken and grieved, and only God was there to save her. And so at the end of the chapter, she breaks forth on the left and on the right, and it becomes fruitful and productive. And the message that I want to leave you with today is save yourself first, put on your oxygen mask, and then save everyone else around you. And we can, land the plane together in a place of safety. We can be productive and support one another and make this world a better place. But if we don't take care of ourselves first, we're going to hit a wall. It's going to come to a screeching halt at some point because there's holes in the armor. And so I'm just so grateful that I've had these 2 years to really focus on what was really hurting me, what was really driving me to be a voice for the voiceless and a champion for the championless. And I'm still that. But I'm also a champion for Margot. And I'm also a voice for little Margot, that inner child that was so hurt and so abandoned and so bruised. And so now, as I relaunch my mission and my passion, particularly focused on women, because we deny ourselves like no other gender. We deny ourselves. We deny ourselves for our children. We deny ourselves for our parents. We deny ourselves for our spouses. We deny ourselves for our significant others. And so I want to, in this era, in this final chapter of my mission on this earth, is to uplift women, to celebrate themselves, and to celebrate what God placed in them to give to the world, and to help them to give that most effectively. And I thank you so much for all that you do, each one of you, and for recognizing the work that I have given. And thank you, Jisley, for making me cry.
Thank you very much. Your story was very, very touching. Thank you for sharing. And you're right, we have to heal ourselves and save ourselves first before we can really start saving others and healing others or helping others going through their healing period. So I really appreciate your message. Thank you very much. And now for our last awardee, but not worse. For our last awardee, Dr. Amy Anderson, professor in communications at Spokane Community College. For the last 13 years, Dr. Amy Anderson has been sharing her passion for communication studies with college and university students. She strives to be a charismatic teacher who is knowledgeable, personable, and engaging. If you walked into one of Amy's classes, you would likely see students working on community service projects or other experimental learning opportunities. Amy is also dedicated to equity, inclusivity, diversity, global awareness, and peace. She created an EDI reflection guide that is used in various schools around the Pacific Northwest to aid faculty in creating equitable and inclusive coursework and assessments, as well as improving interactions with students and community leaders. Amy's commitment to the EDI is also apparent outside the classroom as she volunteers for organizations like the Trevor Project and Be My Eyes, and is a homeless prevention division fund provider for Away Home Washington. Amy is also a peace professor and incorporates the pillars of peace into her coursework. And now, personal note from her nominator, Ms. Nadia Hinson.
Nadia, can you unmute?
There we go. There. Now I'm in the middle. It's an honor for me to be able to introduce Dr. Amy Anderson. And I don't even know when I first got to know her. I can say that my connection to her is through the community colleges of Spokane. I was there as a director of Head Start and early Head Start about 20 years ago. And I always am watching the school I live in Ohio because I have a very passionate interest in how the students are doing. And I have just been so amazed and intrigued by all the things that Amy has done. But mostly, she is so generous. She offers all of her skills to anyone who's interested in learning, especially about diversity and equity. And that's something very close to my heart. So it just seemed to me that this would be an opportunity to say thank you to her and that she's recognized by others who try to do the same things. And that we support each other and we're here for each other. This is a very warm organization. It's not what I would call bureaucratic. And so I'm just hoping that by bringing us all together, we can think of other ways, spread the good news and help other people in whatever ways we can.
Thank you very much. And now to present the award, President Kayleigh Moffitt.
Yeah, thank you. And Nadia, I love how you explained, our organization, but also the reason why we're doing this is because it really is to honor the women who are doing such amazing work. And we are very, very honored to be able to give this award to Dr. Amy Anderson today, October 28th, 2023. We want to thank you for your commitment to impact the lives of your students and others through your charisma and passion for communication, global awareness, and peace. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love, and we welcome you into this network of women peacemakers. And I would like to welcome to the virtual screen at this time our next HerStory awardee, Dr. Amy Anderson, to share her story with us. Welcome, Amy. We're excited to hear from you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. And I am just very touched by everything that Nadia said. Community college is a unique student population, and so I feel really blessed to be able to work with those students and be able to share some of the life lessons. I am going to share my screen and bring up a PowerPoint. Since I teach communications, it's only fitting that I would try to put something together for everyone here, just to kind of organize my thoughts too. So can everybody see that okay? Awesome. Great. So just to kind of give you an idea about where I'm headed, I picked 3 life lessons that I wanted to share with you all and any of the folks that are watching, of things that have been beneficial kind of mindsets or perspectives for me in my life journey, as well as the work that I do with others. So I had a great introduction, so thank you so much. I have been teaching at Spokane Community College for almost 14 years, and I teach communication classes, which are really foundational for student success and in their personal lives and their professional lives. And so I feel really honored to be able to share with them some information that I've learned about communication and help them to practice that in really hands-on ways is kind of my goal, to keep it engaging and interesting for them. The very first lesson that I'm going to share with you is called Kintsugi, and just wanting to highlight about celebrating your story. And we've heard some great stories today from really wonderful women and experiences that they've had. And so one of the authors that I like is Glennon Doyle, and she brings up a word that's new to me, but brutal. And it's a combination of beautiful and brutal. And probably most of us have experienced in our life beautiful moments as well as really challenging times that can be brutal. And so acknowledging and celebrating the fact that we live lives that have highs and lows. And so I included here a picture of my children and myself. Shortly before this picture was taken, I left an abusive relationship of 12 years. And so I was a single mom to 4 kids. And I realized that as beautiful as motherhood is, and as much as I had always wanted to be a mom, I never anticipated it doing it by myself. And I was working and going to school and trying to manage a home. And it was really challenging. And I look back at those moments and I think about all of the lessons that I learned. And I'm able to share some of those lessons with my students. And this kintsugi is from Japanese culture. And it's kind of symbolic of how I feel about my life now, looking back on some of those challenging times, that I am no longer broken, that I have a second life. And so this tradition is known as golden joinery. And so essentially, anytime that there is broken glass or pottery, that they place it together, and instead of trying to camouflage those broken pieces, they actually highlight them. They put them back together and use gold dust or silver dust or platinum dust to really bring a unique perspective to the life of this dish, and or vase or whatever they're repairing. And I thought, for me, the idea of celebrating the history, even the hard moments, was really kind of life-changing for me, to look back instead of with regret, but to look back with perspective on how all of those experiences that I had been through helped to shape me into who I am today, so that I can share some of my story with others and help them to find hope that they too can get out of their challenging circumstances and maybe have new perspective in a new life, but not hiding the things that had happened in the past, and kind of changing and reframing our perspective so that we could celebrate that. The second lesson is actually that sistering community is key. And sistering is actually a carpentry term, and it's when the building block of a structure, which is the joist, if that joist is experiencing too much load, that they actually put pieces of wood on either side in order to strengthen it. And that term is called sistering. And I thought it was really a great metaphor for what we do in our community, that women are special, strong people, and we oftentimes are carrying really heavy loads. And when those times feel heavy and hard, that we can come together to support each other. And I think about the amazing women in my life, my mother, my sister, my friends, my daughters, even, that have come and joined with me in those challenging times to help me get through those, that it really is bringing strength to women in those moments when life is really hard and really heavy. And the last one that I would share is to use your privilege to empower others. I highlighted a few different components of ways that we could empower others, and practices that I like to use is listening and learning, asking questions, getting curious, meeting other people, hearing their stories, offering support in intentional ways so that we can help others to overcome challenges or achieve their dreams. Using privilege to amplify the voices of people who might not have that same power, focusing on strengths and using that strengths-based communication to find the good things in other folks and help them to see those in moments when they can't see it themselves. And then education is key for what I'm doing, which is working with people and helping them to accomplish their academic goals, because I know that that is really important for people to have confidence in themselves, and also to achieve some of their dreams, that education might be a component of that. So I'll leave you with these 3 lessons: kintsugi, celebrating your story; sistering, where community is key; and using your privilege to empower others. And I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to meet you all and to become part of this community. And so I wanted to include my email address as an opening and invitation for more connection. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amy Anderson, and thank you to all the awardees for your wonderful messages today. Reminding us about the importance of healing ourselves, reminding us the importance of sisterhood and how bonding with each other and uplifting other women and empowering other women can help ourselves in the long run, and also helping us to remember that community service helps us to learn how to love ourselves and also how to love others as well, and be of service to everyone. So I thank you all to the awardees. I'm happy that you're all awarded with the HerStory Award. Thank you for everyone for attending. And yes, I see that everyone Miss Deborah is sharing her email, I believe. Yes, email and website. And if anyone else has any more information that they want to put in the chat as a way to communicate to any of the awardees today, please do so. So some final remarks. Just know that our next HerStory Award is November 18th at 7 p.m. and November 30th at 8 p.m. we have a GYPN webinar. And also as a reminder, I'm just going to copy these links that I have here, but if you want to sign up to be a member of Women's Federation for World Peace, I will put those links into the group chat so that everyone has them. Oh, okay, Yumi did it already. Thanks, Yumi. So yeah, please, head there if you want to learn more about our organization, but also become a member, and also to learn more about the Global Friends. So thank you to everyone for coming.
Thank you, everybody, and congratulations to all of our awardees. Thank you, Matoba. Let's give Matoba a round of applause as our great MC for today's program. Thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Congratulations.